Hi guys, it's Matt. Welcome to the video. I am a compulsive gambler in recovery and I am your mind and movement mentor here to help you. So I haven't done a video for about a week and I just got back from the gym, a good back and arms workout at my local gym, and I was feeling the post-workout endorphins and it reminded me of what a saviour, for want of a better word, exercise has been in recovery from gambling addiction. I've been a member of a gym pretty much since I was old enough to be, round about 18, 19. I turned 40 just over 2 weeks ago, so probably around about 2 decades. Off and on, but certainly more on than off. And I mean, this could be a 6-hour video on the benefits of physical exercise. But for me, it's the older I get, it's the mental side of things, and almost like the habitual keep myself in check, boost the hormones, boost the serotonin, feel naked without it type deposit into the brain antidepressant, de-stress, than it is what do I look like in the mirror, fat loss, weight loss. I mean, I am probably one of the most famous people you can meet, so I do love that side of it. And I work as a fitness and nutrition coach, so I'm very much in that world. But for me, when I think back to my gambling days, there was many nuances at play in the insidious nature of addiction. But one thing that kind of stands out was I was diagnosed with ADHD a couple of years ago. And I don't know how I feel about the label in some regards, because I'm not sure that it serves me to think in that way. But just to kind of set the scene, I do feel it is something that very much exists, and that is kind of the personality matrix that is within me, and you know, those kind of traits that I lead towards. So I often kind of feel like, almost like I'm being run by a motor at certain times, and I've got this surplus energy. And if I don't channel that for the positive, or kind of burn some of it off, it's almost like it turns inward and kind of turns against me into kind of angst, anxiety, frustration, mood fluctuation. I've mentioned this in other videos, and I'll do another video on this I'm sure as well, but it's very similar when I eat an excessive amount of processed foods, increased carbohydrate consumption. And it's almost like there's nowhere for the energy to go. So I'll feel worse and I'll ruminate on my problems. There'll be like kind of negative thought loops kind of running through my mind. And I'll feel like I want to do something to change my state. And if that's not exercise, or something physiologically demanding or beneficial, it's likely to be something sinister, like increased cravings for gambling, to excite myself, light up that part of my brain, etc., etc. We know that exercise is a natural antidepressant. They call it nature's kind of greatest antidepressant. We know it boosts serotonin in the brain, which a lot of that is formed in the gut. And there's various things kind of going on chemically in the brain that are beyond my pay grade, I'm sure. I do study this kind of thing because it is of a real personal interest to me. And I feel like we're only really just scratching the surface of kind of like the gut-brain connection and kind of how we work. But if you do have addictive tendencies, I thoroughly recommend engaging in a regular exercise program. I feel like some of my biggest moments of clarity have happened when I've been completely physically exhausted and emptied out. I've had like some of the most calming moments of presence and biggest kind of epiphanies in those times. I watched the Tyson Fury documentary on Netflix, or At Home with the Furies or whatever it was, and he he kind of referenced it really well, that when you exhaust your body physically, any kind of bad thoughts or intrusive thoughts that you've had or negative thoughts that you have almost can't coexist, because your body can't simultaneously be worried about how knackered you are and what needs to be done to repair the physical, and let you just kind of think about, or have space to think about, all the things that aren't really serving you. So that was kind of a great way for it to be expressed, and that really sort of resonated with me. And I suppose that's kind of largely the message here. You do see people who are kind of compulsive by nature get cross-addicted to other things and other substances. I suppose in rare cases this can kind of happen where people maybe take the exercise too far, and of course, you know, you want to play within the realms of sensibility. You are going to be at risk of illness, injury, if you recklessly overtrain, if you just put too much stress on the body and don't have adequate nutrition, enough time to recover, etc., etc. But it's really one of those things that every time you do it, you're doing something that your future self will thank you for, as well as the fact that you are getting a real payoff in real time. And it's just become a massive part of my life, and I genuinely sometimes wonder where I would be without it, because it is something that I say I can still feel it now. I only just, before turning the camera on, recently finished a good back and arm session over at the local gym, and it really is a state changer. You know, it's like they say, motion creates emotion, and I feel like depression is an incredibly nuanced topic, but the biggest problem with that can often be that you don't want to start anything of an active nature, moving the body a bit more, taking a brisk walk out in nature. But then when you do, definitely the symptoms diminish. And I see that with addictive tendencies in myself as well. So I strongly encourage anyone who is not regularly exercising but struggles with the kind of things I talk about to consider exercise. It's something that you can really quite quickly get into a positive spiral with and really, really fall in love with. And for me, there was kind of that twofold thing going on of, I feel so much better kind of chemically and physically in the moment, but also I feel like I'm putting building blocks in place to be my better self. And I say I'm kind of growing and evolving, and I'm moving towards a different person, some physical aspirations or some fitness goals. And those two kind of combined are just so, so powerful. So I've said before, I make these videos for people that struggle with the same kind of things as me. I like to try and give a message that I feel would have been very, very helpful for me a number of years ago. So if you know anyone who does struggle with gambling addiction or other kind of addictive tendencies, please feel free to share this video with them. I want to reach as many people as possible. And if you can like and subscribe, it helps me reach more people by supporting the channel. So thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video soon.